Thanks for staying with us. So according to reports, Nigerian airline operators have threatened to shut down their operations today if there is no reduction in the price of aviation fuel, popularly called Jet A1. Joining us on the show right now to discuss more of this is Chief Executive Officer of United Airlines, Mr. Obiorah Okonkwo. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Right, so we know Jet A has increased astronomically in the last few weeks. Based on the reports I read, it was like if they used to pay about 130 naira or so, and then you're talking almost 700 to the liter. And many of the operators are complaining that they cannot continue like this. But how do you think the government can help you, especially because this problem is not necessarily caused by the Nigerian government? It's a global problem. So how do you think the government can assist you in this situation?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. Let me put the record straight. The operators are not threatening to shut down.
Okay.
But I just bring in before the public to the government that if they have to continue operations at the current rate of the aviation fuel, then it will be so much of a burden and unaffordable to an average traveler, because today air travel is no more a luxury, it is a necessity. So we felt that when these tickets are so high, then probably it will be too much for travelers to embark on. And then the operators will have no passengers to carry. And then flying empty seats is too much of a cost, and they bid off airlines. And as a matter of fact, the rate which the tickets are sold today is being subsidized by the airlines. I'm realizing that this is an essential and critical sector. We're just bringing to the notice of the government that something could be done to alleviate the burden from the passengers, especially not say that it's a nation, it's a global phenomenon, it's a global problem. Recall that government, one way or the other, supplies fuel for the motor vehicle fuel, and the reason because if sold at the official prices, it will be a big burden to, and it could also have a multiplier effect on the other sectors of the economy.
That's a follow-up question. Yes.
So these are really the problems that we have. So it's not like a threat, it's a reality and a fact. It brought before the government. You asked a question what the government can do.
Unfortunately, it's hard to hear you. We can't hear you properly, so we couldn't get the crux of what you're saying. I had to go on a break. When we come back, we'll try to resolve the technical issues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have with us the Chief Executive Officer, United Airlines, Mr. Obiorah Okonkwo. Sir, are you there? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. So it's much better now. So just in a nutshell, tell us exactly what you said before concerning what the federal government can do, especially at this time, knowing that the problem isn't local. It's more of a global problem.
Well, like I was saying, I don't know how much you heard me. The airline operators of Nigeria did not issue no threats to the government or anybody, but we are just trying to bring to the public notice and to the government the situation we have found ourselves now due to the global energy crisis. And this situation is that if the airlines should be able to sell tickets, applying the cost of aviation fuel as it is today, probably the minimum ticket economy any passenger could be paying for is 150,000 naira.
Wow.
That's just the reality. Because when aviation fuel moves from 190 naira to now going to 650 to 700 naira, it is just very, very astronomical increase. And it constitutes about 30 to 70% of operational costs, depending on how many number of passengers you have on board. So knowing that, yes, it's a deregulated industry, commercial airline operators, it's a private business, and then the fuel marketers, the private business. But considering that the Nigerian population are already going through a lot, we felt that it is important that we bring to the notice of the government that this should be an additional burden, especially realizing that aviation sector is a very critical and an essential sector.
Right.
Yes.
It is the engine of economic activities in Nigeria.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Any one single day the airlines do not fly, you will find out that a whole lot of things will be affected nationwide.
All right, let me get a few more questions in for you. Because
That
of
is
time.
about.
So your members
So
met.
for that reason,
Can you hear me, sir?
so in the process, we presented to the government that this is the true situation. And as we, the operators, continue to subsidize the ticket at the ongoing rate, that we could not afford to do that beyond this period of 3 days, which you are mentioning. So that is really what it is. It was not a threat.
Okay.
And for that reason, we asked if there's anything they could do to intervene to reduce the burden on the passengers and obviously continue to support the economic activities going around the nation. So that is what happened.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
So so your members have met with the MD of the Nigerian NNPC, Mele Kyari, to demand that you are allowed to source the aviation fuel yourself. Do you think this is practical, considering that, you know, it's the same source? NNPC can as well continue to source for you, or do you think that they are incapable of doing that for you? In that case, if you continue and you want to do it yourself, what about the extra cost? How can you assure that the quality of what you get is the right quality, not the type that has been adulterated?
Okay, thank you very much. That is very simple. I can inform you that that request for AON to be granted a license to import their own aviation fuel was granted automatically. We have been given all assurances that it's given immediately. We got that that grant just on the spot, and the process is going on. And I can also tell you that the traveling public do not have to worry so much, because government realizes the importance of this sector, and there have been a series of engagements from the National Assembly to the executive to NNPC with the marketers, oil marketers, and all that. A whole lot of engagements are going on. And I think that at the end of today, the outcome of those engagements will start reflecting on the operations. So it is really not anything to panic about, but it is important for us as operators to let the public know what's going on.
Right.
Because it's coming with a lot of flight cancellations, a lot of delays, and we've been very, very committed to service efficiency. That's why you may have read recently in the press that we had come together to form what we call a Spring Alliance.
Yeah.
For every single thing that is done in this industry, it will bear the passengers' comfort and confidence at heart. So this is what we are trying to do. We felt we should bring it to the public. So there's really no need to panic.
Okay,
But the
that's good
question
to
is the
know.
quality of the aviation fuel you get.
That's the question.
Who can verify the
Who will vet
quality?
this?
Who will vet it?
Hello,
Well,
sir.
Come again, I didn't get that question.
We're trying to get to avoid adulterated products. If you are sourcing your aviation fuel yourself, who will vet it and ensure that you get the right quality?
No. It will be subjected to the regulations, and I think that should not be a problem. As a matter of fact, we the operators, should be more careful with the source of our fuel, because if you make any mistake and any of your engine is affected, they're talking about minimum of $4 million for one engine. If it's two at a time, you put it at $10 million. So we think that the market source is very clear, and we will not have any doubt that we know where to get it, and we know how to ensure that the quality is correct. There are international standards and parameters that must have to be followed. And obviously, the regulatory agency in Nigeria is still there to ensure that anything that comes in the standard. So we don't have any problem about that. But don't forget also, for the record, it's not only NNPC that imports this aviation fuel. It is deregulated, and there are a whole lot of other private importers who import directly. So it is really not like we're competing with NNPC. We just want to be given one license, just like so many other importers are doing. So that's what it is.
Okay. Although you say that most of the issues are being resolved, so I don't know if my question will be relevant now, but I would like to know, in the papers a few days ago, some airlines complained that international airlines, some local airlines complained that international airlines were giving preferences for this aviation fuel now that there's a scarcity. Is that still the case, and is this something that you're discussing now? And what are the measures that it's taking to make sure that even local airlines get aviation fuel as it comes during the scarcity?
Well, yes. I can assure you that NNPC had intervened directly, and they have promised to mop up and make available a couple of millions of liters of aviation fuel daily for operators. I just had a call a few minutes ago informing us that all is set for it, and probably we'll start assessing it any minute from now as an interim measure for the next 3 days. That will be special allocation with special rate, while other meetings and discussions are going on at different levels, from the presidency to the Minister of Aviation to the National Assembly. We're very happy. All the airline CEOs are in town in Abuja. Like yesterday, we had 4 meetings. Today, we're having another 5 meetings. I think this is the way to go. We're happy with the quick response of the government. And I think that when all these agreements and understanding are done, probably both the foreign airlines and the local operators will have enough in the interim while we look at the long-term solution to it. So the bottom line is that we're very happy with the response, because all airline operators and investors, we are responsible citizens. We are very, very patriotic. And we felt that the best way is to engage all the stakeholders in the industry and the sector to find a lasting solution. That's what we're doing.
So we have to wrap up now, sir. I want to be sure that our viewers, get the crux of what you're saying. So what you're saying so far is that this issue with the aviation fuel scarcity is under control. The government has intervened, and the people, therefore, should have access to travel. I mean, right now, there was a bit of delay here and there. Based on your Spring Alliance, if you get to the airport and your flight is delayed, there's a possibility you catch another flight amongst the alliance, the airlines within the alliance. You can catch somebody else's flight. And secondly, the cost of flights, we know it has increased. Will it come back down to normal once these meetings are done and we have the fuel back to normal? When things go up in Nigeria, it doesn't usually come back down. So will it come back to the normal price people are used to? Could you just clarify before we wrap up?
Well, for the records, the latest base price was reached at when aviation fuel was 380 naira. 380 naira. So if you have to calculate the base price of economy ticket for one-on-one flights today in Nigeria, you should be talking about over 100,000 naira. So don't forget that it's not only aviation fuel that is a factor. We're still dealing with foreign exchange issue. So it's until that is resolved, and probably, who knows, in the international market, the oil price might still come down because it moved from 60, 70 to 130 for the last 2 days. It might come down a little bit. So all these things will eventually determine the final cost of ticket. But as of travel, surely you can comfortably travel for this weekend. And like you rightly asked, if you get to the airport, within this alliance, the companies will be able to come together and find a solution if there are delays. The airlines obviously are expected to reduce probably their flight schedules, but working together will still meet the passengers' demand. But there is nothing to worry about. The intervention of government is very rapid, it's very prompt, and it's very apt.
Good to know.
We are hoping that the result will be felt in the nearest possible time, which I think by the end of the day. So the good thing is that government has shown a listening ear.
Fantastic.
All the stakeholders have been brought to the table. This is the first time in the industry you see this happening. So I give very great credit to leaders of AON who are directing this process.
Fantastic. All right, so we're happy to know that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for giving us that updates concerning the airlines. So there you have it. Things are under control, and hopefully, doesn't mean you won't pay premium, because they're obviously getting the fuel premium for now. So if you have to travel, yes, but at least you will travel. This is the most important thing. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go to the last topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.